Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. There's a lot to go over today. I'm going to try to answer as many as questions as I can. We got that huge news from Vanguard. Ripple's got a new partnership expanding actually in the Nigerian market, which is kind of cool. And just a ton of other things happening around the crypto space that we're going to talk about. How is everybody's Thanksgiving / how is your holiday season going? Love to see that. Nicole's here. So 99 minutes to go. Hey, Nicole, great to see you. I'm glad you are here. Let's see here. Jordan's here. What's up, Jordan? Great to see you, man. Clock is ticking on Jake's prediction. Yeah, well, I mean, I think we kind of knew that wasn't going to come to fruition in that short of a time span, but it was wishful thinking. But hey, there's still 29 days left in the month, and let's be hopeful. We'll circle back at the end of the month, and we'll see what the price is. Let's see here. We got 80 Smike 07. Thanks, Sensei. Thank you again for all the hard work, brother. We're going to the moonshot with this kind of energy, man. I love that. Great to see you, man. Welcome. Happy to have you, man. Peter O'Neill's here. Great to see you, Peter. What's up, my friend? Christopher. What's up, Chris? Hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. Got to see the family and relax. Lots of snow here in Ohio. The ETF buzz is going. Yeah, we're going to talk about all of that, man. Big Shrimp's in the house. Great to see you, Shrimp. LAX. We got Go Kush TTV. What's up, my friend? How you doing? We got Jesse here. AK Scarface is here. Sveta's here. Oh, so good to see all of you, man. Oh, great to see you, AK Scarface, man. How you doing? We just need Tom here. We're just missing Tom in the house. Chipper's here. Great to see you, Chipper. Bisser, aloha. Aloha, Bisser. Hey, Sensei, family caught alive. Yes, we, last week, because of the holiday, I was exhausted on Friday. I did not have the energy to just do anything. And so I tried to relax as much as I could. We had some friends over on Thanksgiving, and our place is kind of centrally located here in Hawaii, and we have a good nice view. And anyway, so we brought some family friends over, and it's just when you're cooking and then you got all the dishes afterwards. I was exhausted because Thais and I kind of have this thing where if she does the cooking, I'll take care of all the dishes. I am not, I will take care of it. If it goes in that sink, that is my domain. And she hates dishes. So, we have this kind of thing. And so I just took care of all of it, and I was done. I was so tired. Jake's prediction to the moon. Scott, great to see you. It wouldn't be a stream without Scott here talking how good Jake is. Man, love to see you, Scott. I hope you're well after the surgery, man. British Columbia and Canada, great to have you here, Bisser. Man. All right, let's get into this. My sister lives on Oahu. Well, your sister sounds like a really smart lady. That's great. And do you know where in Oahu she lives? I mean, it's only within a few miles of me, right? Regardless of where she lives on the island. But great to see you, Paul. Hey, Paul. How you doing, man? Can you send me an email? Ariana had brought some stuff to my attention, and I was trying to, look to see how I could get a hold of you to see, if you need any support. Hope you are well and your family is doing okay. I know there was some stuff there, so if you can, my email's in the description, Paul. I'd really like to just see how you're doing, man. All right. Let's see here. Thank you for your videos. Absolutely. We have a big team here that is going through all of this content, and it is a constant process of research, and I must watch hundreds of clips a week at this point, and I try to bring the things that I think will be most impactful for your education, and I hope you guys are learning. My dad's doing much better. He got back to LA, and he's seen his doctors, and there's still when you get to 77, 78 years old, things start to break down. And so he's been having, he thinks they were kind of like mini strokes, but like he loses vision in one of his eyes, and it kind of goes back and forth, and it's like gray. I don't know. There's some stuff going on, but from the cruise ship thing, he's doing a lot better, man. Thank you. The hospital kind of patched him together, and he was able to go home a few days later. So thank you. We love Jake Claver. Awesome. That is great. Jake provides a lot of value. Love to hear that. Love that. Ola Sensei, legend. Thanks for what you did. Still up on the bet. Calling Jake the legend will hit $100 by December 30th. Is it? I thought it was $750. Is it changed to $100 now? Have we moved? Have we gone from $750 to $100? Did the bet change? I don't know. I'm trying to keep up, man. There's so many things going on, but I am trying. Husky Tom, was it Tom? Was it you that asked me for the Luna Bears jersey? I know it was Tom something. I appreciate you, Stoic. Thank you so much. Wait, hold on. So, aloha. I live in Waipahu. I've been watching you for a long time. Oh, shoots. I used to work. So, you know, the Tony Group Autoplex next to Costco. That's where I started working when I was 19. I lived in like Eva Beach, Kapolei, Koalina, and now I live in townside. Great to have you. Thank you for being a part of this. I'll take 100. I think anybody would take. Listen, if XRP can somehow, you know, start moving up, it's really gonna matter about the ETFs, right? And where they can source XRP. And I know this has been a you know, a kind of discussion and a battle. And I know somebody asked, right? Because Jake had said something like last week that I kind of was like, that sounded weird, right? You said like something like 800 million XRP was already purchased. And I played the clip and we talked about that. I think that was last Tuesday. And then somebody had asked him about confirming the numbers, right? Because I think that was we needed to understand, like, where is he getting that? Now the thing that I struggle with, and I mean, you know, this is, you know, you could say Jake is very well connected, but I don't know anybody in the XRP space that has the information of how much XRP is on OTC desks, right? And so each OTC desk is a different company. So that would mean that Jake has like inside information from each OTC desk on how much XRP they've actually sold, right? Because he said it wasn't just the ETFs, it was Evernorth, and it was like a few other things. And I was like, you know, I'm still struggling to like come to grips with how does he have that information and nobody else does, right? And so, you know, I push back a little bit, not just because like I want to push back. I push back because I want to understand, where is he getting the like, how does he source that information, right? Is those his personal connections, or does he have some kind of secret key that allows him to see how much XRP is being bought off those places? And I mean, with going by his numbers, if we were at 800 million XRP last week, we've got to be past 1 billion XRP, which means there's only, using his numbers again, there's only what, 500 million, 600 million XRP left on OTC desks. How do they replenish that, right? And I'll be, you know, he never answered my email, which, you know, sounds like Jake, but all good. No worries. No worries. Let's see here. We did have a crypto tomb. So I have a question about OTC. I heard the other day that people are still buying OTC, all the XRP out. That makes the OTC gonna run out, and I'm doing or just can't get rid. Okay, so this is an OTC question. Okay, so let's back up here. How this is working is the ETF providers need a source of XRP, and right now that source is OTC desks. And so we believe that there's a 1.2 to 2 billion XRP in these OTC desks. Okay, and what the problem that these OTC desks have now is, how do they source new XRP? Right? Because the only place you can get it is really Ripple, or through on-demand liquidity. I think Ripple can sell through on-demand liquidity somehow. The problem is most of those companies are US institutions, and because of the 2023 case, Ripple cannot sell XRP directly to institutions because you know, of the unregistered securities offering. So how do they replenish XRP? That is going to be something that I obviously am trying to get more information on and trying to educate you guys on, but it still remains like, what are they going to do once they run out? And, you know, if we keep this pace up, whether it's 30, 60, 90 days, we are going to run into that wall, right? And once we run into that wall of no XRP on OTC desks, what happens, right? And so there's only one of two possibilities, right? There's not many here. Well, there's maybe one of a few. The main two are buying it from Ripple somehow, getting around, you know, maybe the entity that buys it is in Europe, or, you know, in the UK or in Australia, wherever it is, right? And then that entity, the ETF provider, buys it from that entity, and maybe that's how they could get around it. But also, you saw 1 billion XRP released from the Ripple escrow in the last 2 days, and Ripple re-locked up 700 million XRP, right? 300 million and 400 million, respectively. So it doesn't seem like Ripple drew a lot of XRP out of escrow to move it around for OTC. So it does feel like they're going to run into some issues here. Now, the only other few ways that they're going to be able to get XRP is kind of doing that thing from Ripple, retail or institutional or some type of whales selling at a certain price, or they're going to have to get it from exchanges, right? That's really the only places left to get XRP at this point. And what we need now is we need a better understanding of what XRP is on OTC desks. And I've looked high and low, and I think that's one of those things that a lot of people are trying to search for. So I will do my best to get more information, but I hope that helps better answer your question. And thank you so much for the donation. I really appreciate you. Ripple Prime is able to custody our XRP. No, so you personally are never going to have an account with Ripple. No, you're not going to be able to do that. If you're an institution, that's a different story. And I don't know who or where you're from or what you represent. Uh-oh. Hold on. Come here. It's okay. Hold on.
This message is for 05 units, 06 units, and 4303, 4302, 4203, 4202, 4103, and 4102 units only. Please don't use the washer until further notice. We are actively working on unclogging the blockage.
It's okay.
We will notify you via email
Okay.
when it's okay to use your washer.
It's okay.
Thank you for your cooperation.
It's all right. Hey, it's over. See, you got through it. That wasn't so bad. Huh? When they do the loudspeaker, Luna doesn't know where the voice is coming from, and she starts to shake and panic, and she gets really scared. So just give me 1 second here. It's all right, sweetheart. It's okay. Here, you don't want to go that way. The voice is gone. We're okay here. Just want to sit right there? Okay, you want to sit with me here? Come on. You can sit on my lap as we answer questions, okay? Okay. So yeah, you're not going to be able to custody with Ripple. Even when they become a bank charter, you're not going to have an account with them unless you're kind of some institution. So, oh, wow. Red Productions, thank you so much. The $24 donation. I really appreciate you. Thank you for that. Jake said they won't work with retail US. Yeah. You're not going to be able to, if you're an ETF provider, you're not going to be able to buy it from Ripple directly. But if you somehow have connections to, like Ripple could start selling escrowed XRP, to any company outside of the US, right? When you go outside of the US, you don't have to follow the same laws and restrictions. So there is a way around it if they really wanted to get there and do that. But we're going to have to see how it plays out. Trust me, I will be keeping a close eye on all that for you guys, right? Am I on a cruise ship? No, that's when there's an announcement in the building that I live in. There's, the fire alarm speakers, and they can speak directly through that. And so I know it's what it kind of sounded like, didn't it? Yeah, is that a test? Yeah. The medicine worked, and I got my dad stable. He's home. Everything is good right now. I'm in Vegas chilling in my t-shirt and shorts. Yeah, but it's winter. It's not cold here. Paul, hey, I'm so glad to hear your dad's doing better, man. I was really worried. I was really worried for you, man. So that makes me feel a lot better. It's tough, man, when our parents or grandparents, whatever, are getting older. It can get really tough, man. And I understand that. Are you okay now? And you want to go lay down? The shakes are over. The shakes are over. All right, love you. Here, come on. You're good now. All right, let me get back in here. Sorry about that. We've had an interesting already jump from here. Listen, guys, we have about 1,223 people watching. There's about 830 on YouTube here and 405 on X. If you guys can like the space or share the space out, I would really appreciate that. Trying to get in front of more incredible people like you. Thank you so much for all of that. Let's see here. We got a Boozler Would XRP follow traditional cycles after price appreciation? So like, I think once you get price appreciation, you're out of those cycles, right? You're not in those 4-year cycles. The reason we have these cycles with the crypto market is because people start to panic and they go by the halvening dates and this certain whatever. I think when you start getting all of this institutional money in, you're getting retail in, you're using tokenization and stable coins and all of things for settlement, I don't think you're going to see the market go negative 80, 90%. You're going to get dips just like you do in the stock market. But I think, this cycle is going to be broken at some point. It's just when that point will be. Thank you for the question. Let's see here. Big Kahuna. Aloha, Sensei. It seems that Ripple will need to divest 20%. Yes. So yes and yes. If the bill is passed how it is written right now, Ripple will have to get rid of about 25 billion XRP, right? They would need to have under 20%. Now, we don't know if that is the final bill that Trump will sign, but the way it stands now from the House version is how I understand it is, yes, they would have to have under 20%, or at least if they're going to have the escrow, they would have to divulge who owns that other percentage, right? And so this becomes a very interesting, situation for Ripple because, you're talking about them having to offload like 50 billion, $100 billion worth of XRP to people and institutions. Now, I think there's probably going to be buyers for that XRP, but how all of that is going to unfold, your guess is as good as mine. We need to get the final bill, understand what's in the final bill, and then we can say what Ripple will and will not have to do. But thank you for the question. Terpy 88, thank you for everything. One day I'm going to shake your hand and been a breath of fresh air. So passionate. Thank you so much. I look forward to that. Anytime, if you see me anywhere, you come up to me, you shake my hand, we'll have a quick conversation, take a picture, and it'd be an honor. Terpy, thank you so much. Always, Paul, hey man, your family here, you need anything, you reach out, man. All right. Am I in the military? I'm not in the military. What brought me to Hawaii, I was living in California and I was, 18, 19 years old. And, I was doing some community college and things like that. And, I needed some direction in my life. And my dad was living here at the time. I moved to Hawaii when I was about 19 years old, and I spent about 11 years here. And then I moved back to California, and then I moved back to Hawaii. So I've been going back and forth. Just pulling your leg. I'm very grateful what you do. Like I said, at the end of the day, we hope for the best for the XRP family. CSG, you're all good, man. We're all going to just, anytime someone's asking questions, we want to help better understand what those questions are. And we're all learning together here. Even I wake up every day and I'm eager to learn more and expand my knowledge. And, I still see people negative in the comments about price action and this and that. I get that the crypto market can be very stressful, and I can understand that when the price goes up and down, that can cause a lot of frustration and anxiety in your life, especially if you bought higher and now the price is lower. But I think what people just really need to understand is if you're not day trading these cryptocurrencies, if you are just holding for the long term, don't look at the price. Don't look at the daily price. Honestly, for your mental health, I don't look at daily XRP price specifically for that reason, because I don't care what the price is today or tomorrow. I care what the price is in 2, 3, or 5 years, right? That is, I'm prepared to deal with the ups and downs. I'm prepared to watch XRP go up to $5 and go back down to $2. That is just the crypto market, right? And if you looked at Bitcoin since inception, Bitcoin has had these insane moves up and down. And if you have all these emotions that come out, you're going to end up making a bad decision sooner or later, right? You're going to say, oh, the market's going to go down. I'm going to sell my position and then I'll try to buy back at a lower price. Then you miss the dip and now you're maybe negative 10 or 20% of your XRP because you didn't time it right. So, have the long view. We know where the market is going. We know that it's still going to take some time. We know that regulation is still coming here in the United States. We know that in 2026, the stock market, the NASDAQ, is prepared for tokenized settlement. We know that stable coins and cross-border flows are going to be using blockchain and DLT. We know central bank digital currencies are coming, digital IDs are coming. And, no matter how you feel on those things, they're still coming, right? You can not agree with those things, but they are still coming. So, I really have a 2030 outlook Like realistically, 2030 is like, I need to just work as hard as I can, buy as much as I can, understand as much as I can until 2030, and then I'm going to reassess where I am. I think, yeah. Well, you got to understand, right? Like he's dealing with people that have millions of XRP, right? And at some point, Jake is not going to want to deal with everybody, right? Most of the content that Jake does, he wants to push people into his products, which he's done a really good job at that. And Jake also provides really good content. But when the XRP goes to $25 or $50, do you still think Jake Claver is going to be out here doing streams for people that own 1,000 XRP or 100 XRP? I'd imagine at some point he'll move it more exclusive. But that's just my personal feeling. I was talking about this with a good friend of mine who is in Jake's community, and that's kind of how he sees it. He sees it going. I don't know if that's what's going to happen, but I think that he did offer some people with like 50,000. But at some point, it's not. There's going to be a change there. Let's see here. Izzy YC, love the channel. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. For me, it's sometimes difficult to understand that Bitcoin still is dominated the crypto prices. When Bitcoin goes up, we all goes up or down. Why is XRP, with all the good news, never going up? So that's a great question, Red Productions. And the simple answer is we're still in a speculation market, right? No matter all of this utility that we are seeing, we're not at the point yet that the technology is being used on a massive scale. It's being used, on a big scale. But when we're talking about mass adoption, that is really what we're waiting for. And XRP is probably not going to break through. Okay, Luna's not below me. XRP is probably not going to break through and topple Bitcoin until we get some of that utility going. I mean, obviously ETFs could come into play if they start buying off the open market. We could start edging out Ethereum and then trying to make our way up to Bitcoin. But Bitcoin's going to continue to grow as long as nothing bad happens to Bitcoin, right? So, we got to get out of the speculation side of it and get to the settlement side of it. And I believe that's going to partially come here in 26. But great question, man. Will Ripple become a bank? So Ripple's applied for a national banking license that happened on, I think, July 31st. Usually it's 120 days minimum. We've passed that period. Now we're waiting for the OCC's decision. There's no way to know. There's no way to know this question. How much OTC liquid amount? You guys got to understand, it's not like you're not dealing with one OTC desks, right? There's not one company that does OTC. Pretty much every exchange that you can think of has an OTC desk, right? And Ripple Prime is OTC. Like there's a lot of OTC desks. And so you don't have those numbers are not published anywhere. So you would have to go to each company. You'd have to have an insider at each company that's willing to divulge that information to you. And that's why I'm a little bit, skeptic of Jake knowing what's on OT, like everything that's OTC. I think he has guesses for some conversations that he's had with people, but getting updates on how much is on each OTC desk, I don't think anybody really has that information. That's just how I feel. I could be wrong, but think about it. I mean, just think. Like, let's see how many are there. Hold on. Let's see if we can find out how many OTC desks there are. Let's just take a look here. Is there any way to find out how many different OTC desks in the world, right? Also in the US. Let's see if we can find this. There you go. There's no way to get a precise count of OTC desks globally. OTC, over-the-counter trading, is intentionally private and often operated by desks in such large entities like exchanges, prime brokers, market makers, trading firms, family offices, and banks. This is what I'm trying to say, right? If you think Jake somehow has a connection to each OTC desk and calls them and gets an update and number, I think what is the saying? If you believe that I have ice to sell you, or I don't know, what's the saying? Eskimo. I have Eskimo. No, I can't remember the saying. You know what I'm talking about, though, right? I just don't think he actually has the number, but all good. Let's see here. Is there any connection between XRP and XLM? Yeah. So XLM is Stellar, built off of XRP technology. Jed McCaleb had a difference of opinion on where Ripple was heading in 2014. They paid him to leave. They basically gave him, I think, like 8 or 9 billion XRP, and he took that and built Stellar. Stellar has a little bit different tokenomics. I think they burned half the supply, so I think there's 50 billion tokens. Stellar is really going after the retail side, XRP and Ripple going after the institutional side, but both great technologies built on pretty much the same stuff. Now they are a little different as you go into the layers, but technology-wise, same. They should make deals with governments and start reserves to keep in the open. So like the question here is, do you believe Ripple hasn't had these discussions yet, right? Why do you believe Ripple is invited to every big policy and government meeting when it comes to, regulation and trying to figure out all of these things? Why are they on the ISO body? Why are they on the faster payments task? Like, why aren't they on the BIS task? Like, they get invited to all of these places for a reason, right? And part of that is because they've helped set the standard for what the crypto market should be. And, they work with some of the biggest institutions in the world, and they have that power. I would think that they've had conversations like this. You got to remember, we've heard directly from Ripple that they are working with 24 central banks. Now, working with 24 central banks and having 24 central banks using your technology is two different things, right? Working with means they're testing and piloting. Okay. We've only heard about maybe 6 or 7 real CBDC pilots, and some of it turned into some real stuff, but there's still a lot of things that we don't know. With countries we don't have the information on, that is not made public. And so I would think that if Ripple is going in and they're offering, private ledgers or their technology, whatever it is, they are, probably providing guidance as these countries want to build their own CBDC products. And I'd imagine they're having that conversation. So what has to happen for XRP to be considered? You'd need the Basel committee to get together and basically have them label it as a tier 1 asset. That it would take a lot. But I think if XRP reaches a point where it's really being used for liquidity and banks feel that it's important, they will make the change. I'd imagine it's coming. I've seen a lot of people talking about XRP becoming a tier 1 asset. And if XRP is really going to serve its purpose as liquidity for the global financial system, it's going to have to be a tier 1 asset. So when is that going to happen? I couldn't tell you, but I do know they have discussions about it. You miss our Mikkel live streams in the AM. Does he not live stream anymore? Noel, what's up? No, from Nampa. How you doing? You guys are too funny. Mikkel might be on vacation or something. I don't know. Mikkel and Jake, they, I don't know. You would think like content creators, have this bond of XRP and we all get together and talk. A lot of these different content creators have kind of beef between them, and like there's tensions brewing underneath everything, and there's a lot of drama that goes in underneath all of that a lot of people don't see. But I don't know what's going on there. I try to kind of stay out of their lives. I got so much stuff that I need to be doing, and it's important. Edo Farina, what's up, dude? How you been? I've been thinking about you, man. I hope you're doing well. New to the community, new to XRP, working dad. I've been putting $100 a week for my paycheck every week. I have an account with Robinhood. Thanks for all the information. I love watching and learning. Rocco, welcome to the family, man. It's so incredible that you've taken this leap to understand what's going on with the financial system. It's an honor. It's a privilege. Happy to have you, man. Just happy to have you. Thank you, man. Start somewhere, guys. Like this is starting somewhere, doing something, taking action. That is the most important thing that you can do in life, right? Learn what you're getting into and why it's going to reshape how the world moves value. and make a decision to act. And I applaud you for that. Let's see here. Flipper. Hey, Flipper, good to see you. I know that those of us in the XRP community will be very blessed in the future. We will be able to help our family so much, but for now, diamond hands and be patient. Know what you hold. I think that's great advice, Flipper. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, Edo's here. It's great to see you, Edo. Let's see here. We got a question from Lewis. Lewis says, hey, thanks for all that you're doing for the XRP Army. Question, did you set up an LLC for your crypto? I love Quebec, and I'm not sure what to do with that. Excuse me. I think you say I live in Quebec, and I'm not sure what to do with that. So yes, and yes, I have set up an LLC for my crypto. I don't know what the rules and laws are in Quebec, so I don't think I would be the best place to start there. But you can open like here. Let me just show you this. So anytime, guys, you have like a question like this, and you're just trying to get some more information to kind of help start where you should start. And so I live in, what is it, Quebec, and I want to start an LLC. Is that possible? And just I probably spelled Quebec wrong, but hopefully it knows what I'm asking. I don't know how like companies work in Quebec, so just trying to understand. Yes, but not in the way an LLC exists in the US. So this is kind of what you would need to do. Quebec law does not have an LLC legal form. And so, yeah, you probably would need to contact like a family office or a law firm there and ask them kind of how you would set all of this up. I will post this. Let's see, share. Let's see, can I share this? I'll try to share this and see if you can just look at this. That's a great question, but I just don't know how to help you. I'm not the right person to help you with that question. But hopefully that helped your journey to learn how to do that. I've always wanted to go to Hawaii Observatory and look at the stars. Have you? I've never been to the observatory. I have been to the top of the hill where the observatory is, though. It's like it was snowing up there when I went up there. You're talking about well, it's on the Big Island, I think, right? Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm a very fact-based person. Like if I cannot prove it without a shadow of a doubt, like in front of me, I'm skeptical, right? And listen, I truly believe in my heart that XRP will reach a high price, reach $1,000, $5,000. I think it will reach even higher than that. I just think it's going to take more time than some people have told the community, right? And that's my personal belief. That's my personal feeling. Can it happen sooner? Absolutely. I've heard so many people make price predictions, and I've seen 99% of those price predictions never happen. So, let's stick to the facts on this channel. I'm going to give it to you straight and how I have it every single time. And that's enough for me. And I hope that's enough for you guys. Do you think the price explosion will likely one day be $2 and the next $80? I think that's possible, right? You're talking about the Shane Ellis theory where, there's thin order books on exchanges, and that if you get enough sudden demand for XRP on those exchanges, that you could blast through some of these smaller sell orders, right? I did a video on that last week. If you go to my channel and look up Shane Ellis theory, you'll see a video specifically on what you're asking me here. That'll get into it. Let's see here. Sensei Ripple is live in Abu Dhabi. Most of Africa is primed and almost ready for Japan and South Korea. Worldwide adoption is now a when, not maybe. Patience Army. You're absolutely right. I think you said this extremely well. I mean, they have been preparing for years here. And like the recent announcements, what you saw with Abu Dhabi, getting everything cleared, getting the extra licenses in Singapore. They just did that, like 2 days ago. They're ready in Japan. It seems like Japan is changing some rules and regulations around like fitting Ripple and XRP perfectly into their ecosystem there. I think a lot of these are preparing. Jake shared last night the same thing about OTC desks. Okay. Yeah, I wish I had more time. I'd maybe watch some of those streams, but I know he does a good job. I mean, you guys come in here and tell me, how much you're learning, and that's important. He is an incredible wealth of knowledge. and you know, he's gonna make a lot of money. You know, he's gonna do really well. How will Evernorth evolve as Ripple grows as a company? Well, Evernorth and Ripple are not the same company, right? Evernorth was formed. It does have some people from Ripple on like the board and the strategic advisors and things like that. But Evernorth is a DAT company, digital asset treasury company. And of course, Ripple is the software infrastructure company. So those two things will grow separately and do their own things. And it'll be really exciting to see how that all turns out. OTC desks have authorized providers that go and get more XRP from the exchanges, not from Ripple. Well, yeah, but I don't know what we're trying to talk about here, right? We did cover this just like a few minutes ago, how OTC desks, you know, you're not going to have enough source of XRP unless you actually get it from Ripple, or you have to buy it from exchanges, or people are going to have to sell. Those are really the only three options there. What role will the IMF play in the future? I think they're trying to figure it out. I think like Ripple would like to become an IMF level institution, right? Where countries go to Ripple for loans and things like that. I'd imagine that you might see something like that in the future, but it'll be exciting. Husker Nation, if nobody knows how much XRP is available on OTC desks, then how will price appreciation happen? What signs can we look for when those desks start running low? Well, I mean, once they run out, right? They have to, if they don't have a way to replenish it, the way you're going to see that they're out is you'll start to see some big numbers coming on exchanges, like big volume coming, and people are paying attention to that, you know, across X. And so once it starts to happen, I will bring it to you live, fresh and ready, like that same day. But there's no way for anybody to know how much XRP is actually on an OTC desk. And since there's so many of them, it's a really impossible question, right? Because you would have to have a person, like I said, in each OTC desk that you can call and say how much XRP is left, right? And if you're having that conversation, if you have access to that person, why don't you ask them, where are they sourcing their XRP from? So I believe they're going to run out, you know, maybe in the next 30, 60, 90 days here. It really will depend, and the price will come. All right, hold on. Let me just scroll down here and get down to some of your more recent comments. New to crypto. Oh, sorry, Husker. Thank you so much for the donation. I really appreciate it. I just forgot to thank you. New to crypto and have all of my XRP on Coinbase. Is that a bad idea, or should I move it? So, you know, different people have different ideas of what is good and bad. Okay, I can tell you from my experience what I've learned from watching people leave their crypto on exchanges. Okay, if something should happen to that exchange, you know, I don't know. Act of God, I have no idea. But if something happens to that exchange and they go bankrupt, or a liquidity event, they're not positioned right, or something happens, right? If your XRP is on that exchange, then you would have to wait for the bankruptcy court and all of these things to kind of play out. And it could be years before you get anything back. And you probably wouldn't get one-to-one back. You might get pennies on the dollar, right? It just depends on the situation and what happens. So if you're not actively trading that XRP, smart money says to take that XRP and put it on a cold storage wallet. Now, if wallets are a little bit expensive, like you can, like if money's not crazy, like if you're not, you know, struggling here, you can go with a decent wallet. I think they have like a 50% off sale right now. It's pretty good. Ledger has some pretty good sales on some of their items that are 50% off. And then you could even go with a Zaman wallet that is, I think, just like 1 or 2 XRP to get started, something like that. It's very minimal. So there's a lot of options for you to keep your XRP safe. I mean, I wouldn't leave it there unless you're trading it, but you know, that's just me. With Vanguard coming on board, do you feel BlackRock will follow? This is a great question. Linda, thank you for this question. Okay, so let's do this. Let's set the stage here about what's happening with Vanguard, and we'll jump into this question from Linda. I'm going to start this so I can come back to it. Let me just pull this up here for you guys. So I'm sure you've seen my video on Vanguard. You saw this clip here. This is the former CEO and chairman of Vanguard talking about, let's just play it and set the stage.
Spot Bitcoin ETFs. Question came in, hey, we know you're not offering one. Have you changed your mind? What would it take for you to change your mind? We don't plan to, and we don't like we're not going to change our minds around this unless the asset class changes.
Yep.
Unless the asset class changes. Okay, so what is Vanguard doing here? Vanguard is not coming out with their own ETFs. It's not going to be a Vanguard XRP ETF. It's not going to be a Vanguard Bitcoin ETF. What Vanguard is doing is they're allowing their 50 million customers here to access other ETFs, so other spot ETF products on the market, right? Because what happens here is if you have an account at Vanguard and you're getting frustrated because they're not allowing you to use your account to buy into these ETFs, you could make a decision to move that money somewhere else, right? And this is the whole thing with adoption, with crypto, right? Now that we know the technology is there and we know how much it can save and we know how quickly we can get value around the world, now everybody knows that. And so you can't just put that back in the box. People want the options to do what they want with their money. If Vanguard didn't clear a path for their 50 million customers to do that, they could wake up tomorrow with 45 million customers, right? And then that's how institutions eventually, stop being institutions, because they do not innovate, they do not grow. Now, I thought this was a really interesting clip here that he said, unless something changes, fundamentally changes. And so you start to wonder, what is fundamentally changed? Now, the CEO is different now from when this was done. This was in 2024, I believe, in the start. And there's a different CEO at Vanguard now, and maybe it's a different direction of what they want to do. But this still allows their 50 million customers and their 10 trillion under management to be able to get into XRP, Solana, ETH, and Bitcoin. So I think those four assets, people really understand that those four assets are probably the four most serious assets that people want to invest in right now. Of course, I'd imagine they'll add Chainlink. I'd imagine they'll add Stellar, probably, maybe even Litecoin. But those are the four that they're going with. And your question about, does it put pressure on BlackRock? I think it does, right? And let's just look at this logically. Now, BlackRock is the largest, right? They don't have any access to any XRP products or Solana products. Vanguard now does. So what type of pressure does that put? Now, I also think that the heads of Vanguard talk with the heads of BlackRock and with other institutions. And I believe that they probably know things that we don't, right? Because they're in the business to know things that regular people don't. So they could be getting ready to have an iXRP, right? The BlackRock iXRP ETF. I do believe sooner or later you're going to get an announcement from BlackRock, whether that happens today or 6 months or a year from now. I really can't give you a time and a schedule, and I don't think anybody can. But the crypto market is moving to a place that it's never been before. It's moving to a place where institutions are ready to use the technology. Corporations are ready to come in and take advantage of all the benefits. If you didn't watch the video I made like last week with Sandy Call, the head of Franklin Templeton's innovation division, that she really laid out the benefits of why these institutions are going to move to this new technology. And one of them is having instant access to your funds, okay? And also being able to earn yield on those funds 24/7, 365 is going to be a vital piece. All right, we have a new member. What's up, 117? Thank you so much for becoming a member. I really appreciate that. Guys, just so you know, if you ever want to become a member of the channel, I think there's like some different tiers there. I think it's like the $10 or higher tier, and my team is constantly changing things, but we do release some early content there that members get to watch before the rest of the public, and if you want to support this channel and everything that goes into this channel and all the people that make this channel work behind the scenes, that would be a great way to do it. Not going to say anything more than that. Appreciate you, each and every one of you. BlackRock won't, sir. BlackRock won't, sir, back and watch this slip through. Oh yeah, they won't sit back, sir, back. I type too fast too, and I make mistakes as well. You're right. I don't think they'll sit back and watch all of this happen. I think Larry Fink is a smart guy, and he's one of the voices that is out there telling us about this new future and how this market is going to be traded and what's going to happen. And if you think that he has not had conversations about it, they've had conversations about it. Let's see here. Tsunami Tommy says OTC, APS, centralized exchanges get from Ripple, unlocking escrow and retail. Exchanges get a fixed number from Ripple. And if the amount is sold, then the APs need more OTC and the centralized exchange pay more to incentivize retail to sell. I mean, you probably have that well locked in, man. You're probably absolutely right on how all that works. I did think it was interesting though to watch the amount of escrowed XRP being unlocked today, and still they relocked up 70%, which means that Ripple hasn't really gotten pressure yet to unload more of that XRP, right? Because let's just think about this logically. If OTC desks were empty, they would probably be trying to find ways to do that. And whether that is through Ripple, an avenue through on-demand liquidity, buying it through on-demand liquidity, or going, buying it from an institution that sells it to them outside of the US. I don't know what the process is going to be, but we do know the place that is going to come from is escrow. And we didn't see that, in the recent unlock. So I think there's still some on OTC desks. I think we're still trying to eat away at that. And every day that we get 40 million or 50 million or $30 million more in XRP, we are inching closer and closer to those goals. All right. Coinbase is not FDIC insured. I think Uphold has some new products that they have some FDIC insurance on some of that stuff. I think up to 2.5 million. That might be a way for you to go. Let's see here. Mr. Fernandez says, thank you for the hard work that you keep us updated. Greetings from Barcelona. Man, I've heard Barcelona is an incredibly beautiful place. I'm sure you love living there. Thank you so much for the kind words. And I really, really appreciate you. OSOK, great to see you, man. Oh man, the right advice, Sensei. I don't know what I said. I don't know what I said, Bill Clayton, but I as long as we're on the right page here, man, I love that. BlackRock is waiting for clarity to act to pass. I think that's a really educated statement, Tracy. I think you're probably absolutely right. But, XRP does have its own kind of clarity here in the United States with Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin's reached a point where it's accepted now as this commodity. And because of the Ripple case, XRP does have that over the rest of the industry. So I don't know if that's the specific reason. That's maybe what they tell people. But I think if BlackRock really wanted to launch an XRP product, they could. But, there's probably a lot of truth to what you're saying there, Tracy. Good eyes. Better. So Gen X says, better question. Do you think BlackRock wants the people in their company to go elsewhere? Yeah, like that. I think that's the thing, right? When you have a lot of I don't know what the limitations are. I don't have an account at BlackRock, right? So I can't tell you. But I do know BlackRock is there to make their customers happy, right? Because if you don't make those customers happy, regardless if they have 1 million with you or 1 billion with you, they will go somewhere else, right? And when you have that amount, when you have that much money, you have some power. And that's why I always say, if you're listening and you have an account at BlackRock, or if you had an account at Vanguard, if you had an account at Fidelity, you need to pick up that phone and you need to ask them, when are they going to have these products for us, right? You have a lot of power. And the only way that they are going to know their customers want these products is if you ask and tell them that you want these products. And I think that's what you saw with Vanguard. I bet you they had enough customers bothering them. Maybe bother was a strong word there. Let's back that up. Enough customers reaching out to them saying that they want the products, and they're gonna offer them. I knew this question was coming, and I am prepared. I am prepared. I am so prepared for this question right now. You ready? You ready for this? Boom. I got you. So the question is, do you have any information with your meeting from Uphold and Uphold Vault? So here is Uphold Vault. And so this is actually a pretty interesting solution. And, let's just go through it together. Vault, self-custody, crypto better. Secure your assets with confidence of Vault's assisted key replacement and access to instant trading. And so here is a video about what the Vault actually is. Ready for the beat? love a good beat. I love a good beat. Okay, so introducing assisted self-custody, take control with 2 keys required to move your assets, and alone you control your crypto. You got peace of mind here, 24/7 trading, trustless. And I think they got some pretty good deals here on this product if you're interested. But there's a thing on their website here if you want to get signed up with it. And so here you go. Monthly is $4.99 and annually is $49.99. So there is your information. I'm actually releasing a video on all of Uphold's technology here probably tomorrow. And they have some pretty unique ways that you're going to be able to earn XRP if that's something that you wanted to do. They have a Visa card where you can get up to like $300 back in XRP per month, up to a certain amount. You can do direct deposit. You can mix direct deposit with the Uphold card and get 10% back on a certain amount. There's ways to kind of combine that. And I get into kind of how I will be doing that with you in that video. Man, I love the beat though. That beat was tight. BlackRock doesn't care about the Clarity Act. It's all for crypto retailers, not specifically for XRP, which is already has more clarity for ETFs. Yeah, I think Tommy's pretty on there, man. I'm liking what you're throwing down, Tommy. Thank you. What's up for the subscription here? Crypto genealogy. Great to see you. How you doing? Is it launching tomorrow? Tetra FXRP tomorrow? Firelight? Hopefully Adam will do something. Yeah, guys, we have 3,300 people watching. We have 2,400 here on X, 859 here on YouTube. If you guys are getting any value, we could probably take this thing above the goal. Like the highest amount we've ever had watching, I think, is like 4,200. We can blast past that today if you share out the space. I'd really appreciate that if you can. I'm trying to answer as many of your questions as I possibly can, regardless is if you donate or not. I'm trying to just pull as many as I can for you guys. So yes, so it's $1 billion total is unlocked every month. So they decided they were going to do the escrow. They were going to create 55. I just did a video explaining escrow today too. So I knew these were questions that the community wanted. And I just put a video together that will come out tomorrow covering escrow and answering every single question that you have. But Ripple decided to go with, instead of doing one contract at 1 billion tokens, to do 2 contracts of 500 million each every month. So I think they were kind of looking down the line and saying, hey, sooner or later, maybe somebody would want to buy this whole wallet of 500 million tokens. Let's separate it just for security reasons too. And so that's why you see the 2 wallets unlocked. So here we go. What's up says, if we transfer our assets such as XRP to cold storage, is there any way to lock a price in, or would it just to hold off no matter what, or would it be just to hold off no matter what? So I don't quite follow. So anytime you move your XRP to a cold wallet, it's still XRP. It goes, the price of that will still fluctuate with the market. So if the price goes up to $10, XRP will be $10 in your wallet. If you have 1 XRP, it'll be $10. Whether it's in your wallet or on the exchange, it still has the same price, right? It's not like you're taking it off the exchange and it loses its value. It's the same price no matter where it is. All right. But thank you for the donation and the question. For that type of question, it does help me because I try to answer as many questions as I can. But you don't really got to pay $4.99 to get a question like that answered. I don't really require anything from you guys, but it does help get my attention because there are a lot of questions. But I'm just saying, like, you don't need to donate. I'm here to give you my time and try to help you as much as I can. And that's how it's always been. So I appreciate it. I do. And I use this to give, we go buy nice dog treats for Luna. And wow, we got 10 gifted subs here from Husky Tom. Husky Tom, where are you? Look at you. 10 gifted. Husky Tom, I appreciate you. Wait, Husky Tom, was it you that asked for a jersey for Luna? Was it? I think it was you, wasn't it? For a Chicago Bears jersey for Luna? Hold on, let me see. Yeah, it was you. It was you. It was you, Husky Tom. You will see something soon. I made sure. I needed Thais's help, but we ordered something, and you're gonna see it soon. I haven't forgotten about it. I have actually acted on what you asked for, and I will make it happen. Okay, so bro, Uphold will not allow me to link my cards from spending thousands on there. Can you help me out? without having to email them. So unfortunately, Mr. 6 foot, I don't work at Uphold. I am working with Uphold to help kind of show people in the XRP space their offerings and their technology and their roots and their history. But I don't have any, there's not somebody that I can send a message to that's going to be able to access your account and do that type of stuff. I mean, for security reasons, I'm sure you understand, right? So, if you have trouble getting in contact with somebody, I can put you into connection with my source at Uphold. But I think you should be able to get that done. But, for security's sake, that's something you need to, get done yourself there. I do apologize. I wish there was something I could do, but I'm sure you understand. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. You guys got to stop watching the price, man. I don't, I think the people that watch the price are the people that might not have the information yet, right? People that maybe are still learning and they still maybe don't understand what's coming. And I get that, right? And I was like that when I was early in crypto, and then I reached a point where I understood that regardless of how I felt and the frustration I put out into the world and why isn't the price going up, that's not going to change anything, right? We're on a timeline here of adoption. And we are inching every so closer to that point, right? And no matter what you say or what you do, it's not going to affect an entire market full of people, right? It takes time to integrate these systems into our existing legacy systems. And over the last 10 years, a lot of that legwork has been done. And a lot of these institutions are in a position to act. But you need clarity. You need regulation in the United States so banks and institutions or corporations know what is legal and illegal. That is everything there. Think about this. You are a top 5 or top 10 bank in the United States, and you start offering services that may be legal or illegal. Clarity Act gets passed. You have millions of customers using your product, and now it's illegal. You've just broken how many laws, right? So there is something there that financial institutions, corporate, they're just not willing to commit to yet because we don't have this well-established rule book of what's going to happen. So this is how this plays out. The Senate is going to pass some type of bill, whether it's going to be the same bill that came over from the House or whether they're going to make changes. If the Senate makes changes, it'll go back to the House for a final approval. Then it will go to the president's desk. He will sign that bill. Then you need the SEC and the CFTC and all of the other regulators to do rulemaking. Rulemaking is going to be the most important part because once you have the bill, you need to understand what the rules of that bill are, right? You can have attorneys read through the bill and they can say, maybe this is legal, maybe this isn't, but that is going to be on the job of Paul Atkins and Caroline Pham from the CFTC to set those rules for the market so they know what's going on. Now, part of that is happening. And let me show you this. There was a clip that I saw earlier today. So I'm going to play 2 clips for you. Here is Paul Atkins on the crypto market moving forward. And then I have another clip from the Federal Reserve that I want to play you about rulemaking that is actually happening. And I'm going to get some more water as I play this 1 minute and 16 clip.
Can you do what needs to be done with crypto without legislation? And do you think that can happen before the end of the year?
Well, we'll see. We're working with Congress and we're providing what we call technical assistance to them regarding legislation to make sure that they're staying on what makes sense and that meshes with other laws and whatnot. But we'll see. I can't prognosticate that, but we have enough authority to drive forward. I'm looking forward to having an innovation exemption that we've been talking about now. We'll be able to get that out in a month or so is what I'm hoping. We were impeded a bit by the government shutdown. Obviously, we couldn't work on things during that time, but we're on track and we will be able to forge forward with the crypto area and make sure that we are able to embrace this new area of innovation that for too long the United States basically is just pushed back against. And so I'm looking forward to having rules that are focused on helping that sector of the economy move forward.
You hear what he said there? Rules to make the economy move forward. That's the rulemaking process I was just talking about. And I have another clip here I want to play. Here it is. So This is Fed Governor Michelle Bowman. She confirms that the Federal Reserve is working on stablecoin regulations within the U.S. jurisdiction and working with all stakeholders. Now, I'm going to explain to you what's going on here, but let me play the clip.
Compete effectively with non-banks on both payments and lending, the Fed is encouraging banks to innovate to improve their products and services. We're working together with the other regulators to develop regulations for stablecoin issuers, as required by the Genius Act. We also need to provide clarity on digital assets to ensure that the banking system is well placed to support these activities. The Fed is working to tailor our regulatory and supervisory framework to accurately reflect the risk that different banks pose to the financial system, particularly community banks. We cannot continue to push policies designed for the largest banks down to the smaller, less risky, and less complex banks. I support congressional efforts to reduce burden on community banks, including increasing static and outdated statutory thresholds that have not been updated for years. I also support improvements to the AML framework that will assist law enforcement while minimizing unnecessary regulatory burden.
Okay, let me show you this real quick. All right, the Federal Reserve and other banking regulators are now formally writing the rule book for the U.S. Am I on the right thing? Yes. Okay, cool. So here it is, right? They're now formally writing the rule book for the U.S. dollar stablecoins under the Genius Act. Okay, so we saw the Genius Act get passed mid-2025, and now the Federal Reserve is doing what they need to do. They're taking the bill and they're doing all of the rulemaking so banks understand what they can and can't do. And that's the rulemaking process. That's what I'm talking about. Once regulation is passed, you got to get to the rulemaking, and how long that rulemaking takes is kind of going to set the standard of how long it is actually going to take now. But I'm sure once you get the Clarity Act passed, signed into law, more things will start happening more quickly. All right. Steelers. Yeah. Who's going to win? Steelers not looking great the last few weeks, my man. I mean, like, didn't the Bills just kill them? Like, what was it? They only scored 7 points. Is Aaron Rodgers the best choice for the Steelers? I don't know, man. I don't know, dude. Go Birds. Hey, you know, everyone's got to have their team, man. Everyone has their team. Let me see here. Josh Allen is pretty good. You know, it was cool. Like, they had that HBO series, about the Bills, kind of their teamwork and how they all hang out. And that's a pretty good program, man. Like, I was pretty impressed. What about the WNBA? NBA, WNBA. I don't watch any of it. That's not my, that's not my thing. Well, we were getting way off topic here. I love it. You guys are so much fun. All right, hold on. We do have some other things going on here that I wanted to just show you. It does look like there's some things happening in the UK. Today, the UK has formally recognized digital assets and strengthening the foundations of the digital future. And so here it is. UK law now officially recognizes digital assets. The UK has today taken an important step forward in recognizing the role of digital assets in the modern economy. A new law has come into effect confirming that qualifying digital assets, including crypto tokens, stablecoins, and NFTs, can be treated as property under UK law. That's a big step for the UK. And, they are helping to set the standard for everybody else. I love to see that. Guys, we just blasted past the most people watching the stream. We have now 4,500 people watching the stream, 3,600 on X, and 859 on YouTube. I don't know what to say. Thank you so much for helping us set this record. It's just an absolute honor to spend this time with you guys. Crazy. So here's a story. During the bear market, a lot of people left. And these same chats that I did every Tuesday and Friday in the bear market. And sometimes I would show up to a chat and 5 people or 8 people would be there. And we had these, 2-hour chats where we talked about the market, we talked about innovation, we talked about the future, and, we learned. And it's just crazy how things have grown. And, I get lost for words sometimes with all of this. So I really, really appreciate you. My dad's doing a lot better. Trust. Thank you. I really appreciate you asking. He's back on the mend. He had some other health problems, and then he got, what is that thing that you catch on cruises? That's like something virus where like things are bad every which way. Yeah, he got that, and then there was something going on with some other things, and he's doing much better. Thank you. I'm sure he probably didn't want me to say all of that, but you know, I share too much. Have you ever experienced a dusting attack on your cold storage wallet? Had random tokens show up in my account? Had to educate myself. So yes, so Jim Goose. So the random tokens are scam tokens. Okay. And so what they do is they target certain people's wallets that have a certain amount of money. They'll send these scam tokens. When you go to connect your wallet to sell these tokens, they can often, you know, there's something in the code there that they may be able to drain your wallet. Just, you know, never have automatic token on where it adds tokens automatically to your wallet, because then they'll start to show up and you might forget, did I buy this token, right? It sounds like something maybe I bought. Always do the due diligence. If you see something random show up in your wallet that you didn't send to your wallet, just automatically assume it's a scam. Just automatically assume it's a scam. If you want to take the extra step to research that, please do. But most of those are scams. I don't think I've ever had a token show up in my wallet that was like, hey, you know, somebody accidentally sent me $5,000 or something. I don't think that's ever happened. So yeah, there are a lot of scams, and that's how they get you. Sometimes what they'll do is like, you know, you'll like, where can I sell this, right? And it won't be on like a Uniswap or something. It'll take you to some random exchange that you've never used before, right? But that's the only place that you can swap the token. And once you connect your wallet, boom, you know, and you approve it, bad news. Love being here since I found you, learned so much from your channel. Man, that is what I want to hear. That is what I want to hear. It's been a good year for learning. It's been an incredible year for learning. You know, you guys have pushed me to learn more, to educate better. And, you know, I appreciate that, you know, and I'm always trying to get better. You know, every day I'm looking at your comments and things that you're saying. And, you know, our team is actively trying to just be and put out the best information that we can possibly push out and just give you guys the facts as we know them and quickly, right? Right now, my team is we're doing about 3 to 4 videos a day. I record 2 of them in the late half of the afternoon that goes out in the morning first thing. And then when I get up, I'll make 2 more for the back half. So you're getting that same day, you're getting at least 2 videos that were made that day. And that does help me get to the information to you quickly and more efficiently. So appreciate you guys. You're going to have a lot of staking options here in the future. Flare, you know, Flare Midnight, there's going to be a lot of avenues for you to earn yield off your XRP. Just remember that all things are not created equally. All companies, you know, don't have the same level of trust as others. I would probably, if you're going to try to earn yield from your XRP, stick with the most well-known companies and understand the risk before you engage. How much are we going to drop? Hey, if XRP goes back below $2, I will keep buying. Is Decent hardware wallet safe? Yes. Yeah. I got Decent. Here, look, I'll show you something. Hold on. So, you know, because I'm working with some of these companies, they send me a bunch of stuff, right? So like, hold on, let me get you something. Hold on 1 second here. Yes, here. If you guys want some cool hardware wallets, I'll show you this real quick. So here is my link to Ledger if you guys are interested. Okay, so Ledger and I have a partnership. I have a partnership with Decent too, but Ledger has some pretty dope wallets, right? So they've sent me a Stacks, and I'll show you this in a second. But they have their best deals are right now. They have 50% off on their older wallets and some of their newer technology, which I think is pretty impressive. It's really easy to use. Is some of this. So if you're looking for a good hardware wallet, Ledger, Decent, right? This is a different Ledger. This is a new Nano. This is actually pretty cool. I like this one. And then of course they sent me an old Nano too, but I have a few of these. Ledger is what I've used for a long time. And I'm going to be making a video about Ledger's technology tomorrow. Actually, I built it out today. I'm going to record it tomorrow. It'll be out on Friday. But if you're looking to take advantages of some of those deals, we put out a lot of content on Ledger and Decent. Both of those, I would say, are good choices. If you didn't want to spend that much money on a wallet, I would recommend Zamin. Zamin is open source. They've been building for like the last 5 to 7 years, and that is an app you can download on your phone. And that I'd say that's a good wallet too, man. Always, I'm gonna answer as many questions as I can, guys. Like, regardless if you're paying or not, I'm here to help you in any way I can. And yeah, Tangem is good. People talk about Tangem a lot. Any one of these wallets, just never buy your wallet off of Amazon. Don't buy it from, if you're gonna buy a wallet, you buy it directly from the source. Whether it's Ledger, Decent, whatever, Tangem, doesn't matter. You buy it directly from their website. Okay. You never want to have a third party person. You're buying it from Joe Schmo in Nevada or something. That's pretty sketch. Looks like you should give some of those. I should talk to Ledger about that. I got to open these. And like film me recording and doing stuff. So I was actually going to give this to one of my friends, and then my editor, he wanted this new Nano. I don't know if I'm going to send him this one though. I really like, out of these, I got the Flex, I got the Stacks. The Stacks is like I waited 2 years for a Stacks. But I think they're better now. I ordered when they first came out, and then this new Nano looks really cool. I really like this, the way this is set up. So it's just a lot easier to use these like with the push buttons than the 2 buttons. I hate the 2 buttons. All right, let's see here. Buy it from, don't buy it from eBay. You guys are crazy. I don't know if does Decent only connect to PC? I'd imagine it connects to everything. I mean, I used it on my Apple phone, but I don't know if it connects to my Mac. That's a good question. You'd have to look into that. How do you celebrate Christmas in Hawaii? Yeah, it is 80 degrees outside on Christmas Day. My mom's actually coming to visit for the first time in my life. My mom's coming to visit me in Hawaii. And so I'll be spending some time with my mom and her partner, and of course my wife when she comes. And we're gonna go to the memorial, Pearl Harbor, and we're gonna go to a luau and that kind of things, North Shore, those types of things. So, but it's the same thing, man. It's just the weather is 80 degrees and tropical on Christmas Day. That's the only difference. It's still Christmas Day. I live on Oahu. I live in Honolulu. How did I end up living in Hawaii? That's a long story. I moved here when I was 19, and it's pretty much the same price living in California. And my wife likes Hawaii better, and it's the weather's nicer. The food is really good. Oh, I love seafood, sushi. It's all really good, and just the people here are incredible. What else can you say? You have one of the most beautiful places on earth. Yeah, the Arizona. That's where we're gonna go. USS Arizona. Yeah. Do I love it here? It is nice. It is nice, Tracy. Yeah. It is nice. I'm not good on snow. Like, you get me on snow, it's bad. I do not want to be there. I'm not good skiing. I'm not good snowboarding. I'm not good walking on snow. So I don't know how people do that, but they're incredible. Let's see here. So it says, let's go, Sensei. No one talks about how Ledger has a white hat team that audits their hardware and software wallet companies. Tangem is by far the easiest to use and great for newbies like me. Thank you for sharing that. I'm sure that's going to help a lot of people. Yeah, I mean, most of these companies, Ledger, Decent, Tangem, they have incredible teams that are working around the clock to make sure that our crypto is safe. And as long as you're upgrading your wallets and doing those types of things, you should be okay. So do you suggest multiple cold wallets? So this is a great question, guys. Like, I think everybody, it's about like, do you want to have all of your risk in one place, right? Would it be better to spread that risk out into 2 or 3 different places, right? And that's what I do. I have XRP on maybe 4 or 5 different wallets at this point. Four, 5, 4 plus 2 exchanges. So that's 6. You know, I don't have a lot of XRP on the exchanges, but I've been buying some new XRP. I got to move it to cold storage, but it sucks because you have to go down to the bank and you have to get your wallets out of, you know, lock and key. I don't keep any of my crypto wallets at home just in case anyone ever tries to like come and rob me. There's good luck. There's nothing here. And that's kind of separating that risk, right? You know, I figure one day someone might try, but that's why I don't keep any wallets in the house ever. And so like if I'm moving crypto to my wallet, I will go to the bank that day. I will get my box, open my box, get my wallets, bring them home, put the crypto on, and then go right back to the bank and put them in a secure vault. That's the safest way I know how to protect my crypto. And you know, there's other custody solutions that you could go to too. And you know, no one way is the best way. You just got to do what is best for you. Like how can you keep your crypto safe, and just go do that. Yeah, I think that's been what people are going to do. What's your stance on selling your initial investment after price appreciation and on LCA borrowing against it? I think that's the main play. I think you laid it out perfectly there, Trust. It sounds like you know exactly what you're doing and the process that you're going to take. Yeah. Borrow against it, go out and buy, you know, real estate or something that gives you back income, pay down the loans, get the XRP back. I think that's going to be probably one of the smartest things that you're going to be able to do. And then you can keep reusing the XRP to go do new investment and slowly take over the world. Something tells me Trust of Hearts is going to be taking over the world slowly. She's got it lock and key. All right, guys, we just crossed 5,000 people watching. That is by far a record. Really appreciate that. Let me show you what this looks like on my end. If you're wondering what I'm staring at, here it is. This is basically in the top left corner of the video. There it is, 4,000 people watching on X and 807 watching here on YouTube. Thank you so much, guys. It's incredible. Tracy, did you become a member? Did I not see that? I didn't know you had a green thing. Thank you. What do you think about Russia using Bitcoin? I think Russia, you know, I'm not in Russia and I don't know what's going on the ground there. All I know is I watch a lot of content about what's going on with the war there and with Ukraine. And I do know that a lot of people are hurting in Russia. And I know that they're looking for different ways to, you know, I think that's a very complicated situation. And I think Russia is trying to figure out what the best path forward is for their economy. And if that involves using Bitcoin or other crypto assets, they will do that. But I don't have any direct knowledge about what they're doing. Yeah, Zaman is a good wallet, guys. Like if you're not looking to spend some money on a big wallet, let's see here. Can I just show you what the app looks like? Yes, here it is. Here it is. I got you. So in the App Store, there's a Zaman wallet, #1 wallet for XRP Ledger on Zahu. This is one of the best known developer made wallets on the XRP Ledger, and it's very cheap. I think it's only like, I don't know, what is it, like $5 or something for a wallet? It used to be free, but I think now they charge you a little bit. All good, Jordan. Hey, man, you're always here. You're good, man. And I think these are members on YouTube, not Cryptonaires members. You're good, man. But I appreciate you, Jordan. Thank you, Sensei. This is this time from the Caribbean. Thanks for keeping me up to date. Beth, anytime. I hope you're enjoying life in the Caribbean. That sounds really beautiful and nice. Appreciate you. Thank you for the donation. Let's see what else we got here. Sensei, you have a way of lifting spirits. It's been a rough time for me. I had back surgery and still having issues. I look forward to seeing your work. Cup, I've been there. I know how difficult it is to get back to what used to be normal, and maybe that's, you know, far away. And I know what you're going through. You know, I've been there a lot in my life. I've had a lot of surgery that's kind of put me on the couch and bed for months, even a year, over a year. And it weighs on you. It weighs on you. And I'm just glad that we can, bring your spirits up. And, you're not alone. You keep trying to get through it. Physical therapy really helped me. And, having someone to talk to, whether that's somebody in your family or a friend, but, got to get some of that negativity and the things that are bothering you out, and you're going to start feeling a lot better. So if you ever need to talk, you send me an email. I'm there. Okay. Greetings from Aruba. I don't think we've ever had anybody check in from Aruba. Greetings. Nice to see you. 173,000 XRP is only a shark or a big tuna. Listen, if you have 173,000 XRP, all you have to do is hold, right? XRP goes to $500. You got what, 85 million? XRP goes to 1,000. You have $173 million. If XRP goes to 5 or 10,000, you're a billionaire. So, right now it's just having the patience to get to where we need to go, and we'll get there together. There's no way to know this. There's no way. We researched this. We researched this earlier. We had a discussion about this. There's so many OTC desks, and they do not publish any information. So unless you had an in at every OTC desk on the planet that has XRP, there's no way to ever find this information out. Trust me, like if I could find out, like I would find, I've been trying to do as much as I can, but it's behind walled gardens, and you don't have the access to it. I don't have any thoughts, Ganja, about Zebic. The Zach Rectors of the world know a lot more about Zebic. I don't. I'm just not the right person, man. I wish I could provide you value there, but I just don't. Oh, you got it from Tom. That's where you got it. I was like, because I remember you leaving a comment earlier and you weren't a member, and so I was like, did I miss Tracy becoming a member? You got it from Tom. Tom's a good dude. Tom helps a lot of people become members. Let's see here. What does the SEC roundtable with BlackRock, Coinbase, and Robinhood on December 4th mean for XRP? Nothing. They're starting to talk with these institutions about tokenization and how that's going to look and play out. The SEC is collecting information on how these companies are going to deal with it, and kind of what they would need for some of this rulemaking to be developed for them to partake in these systems. Robinhood has been kind of leading the way here in the US, as well as the UK and the EU. And I think that's probably one of the really good companies to have. I was a little shocked you didn't see like Ondo there. I thought Ondo would probably be a good company that you could have there. But it doesn't mean anything for Ripple or XRP. We covered this, I think, in yesterday's video. It doesn't do anything for Ripple and XRP, but it's something for the market, right? To help understand what we need. Sol Jefe says, I have 13 XRP. Hey, that's a great start. It's a great start. Maybe when we have a conversation in a week or two, it'll be like 25 and then 50 and then 100. And then before you know it, you'll be at 1,000. And then, you'll really start to build some kind of nest egg there. Appreciate that. Yeah, there's a lot of really incredible people here, guys. If you ever need some good support, come into the chat, start talking to some people here. There's some really incredible people here. Who is going to XRP Las Vegas? Husky Tom. I am going. I would like to speak there. It feels like that's kind of a closed group of people. The people that put on XRP Las Vegas. And so, I'm just going to show up and participate, just be there and listen and engage. But I'd really like to be on a panel and share what I know. And I don't know if I'll get that ability, but I've asked. Is XRP a Ponzi? If you're asking that question, it shows me that you haven't done enough due diligence in XRP and what Ripple are doing. And I think that's maybe a lack of education. So that's a question that you probably need to ask yourself. do I need to understand this a bit better? What are all of these people seeing that I am not? And start learning. Great place to start. Uh-oh, no snow. Oscar's here? I'm seeing people say Oscar. Oscar is here. What's up, Oscar? How you doing, man? You are pumping. Great community. Yeah, we got about 5,300 people watching. It's about 4,500 on X and about 747 here on YouTube. So XRP Army shows up in force. The best group of people in the world, in my personal opinion. It's great to see you, Oscar. Is Jake a prophet? I don't know, man. I don't know. Yep. A lot of things have been said about it. We're going to see, right? Carry trades unwinding. See, the thing is, like, when we've had conversations about this, one thing is doesn't equal the other. Just because the carry trade unwinding doesn't mean that they're going to XRP, right? Like, that is a solution, right? But one thing doesn't automatically equal the other. All right. And I would imagine if XRP is the solution, that 3 digits would probably be on the low end, right? Of what you would see. People have been talking about the carry trade unwinding for decades, right? And Jake found a really intuitive way to include XRP in that. And I think that's got him a lot of notoriety. And, you know, he could be right. He could absolutely be right. He is well educated. He is well connected, and let's let it play out. And if he's right, man, legend. He'll never have to buy a drink anywhere he goes for the rest of his life. You know, it'll be like he'll be a hero amongst all of the villagers and the people here. Let's see. My buddy lost $800 in XRP today, moving it around. Unfortunately, he didn't listen to my advice. And that's a tough one. That's a tough one. So guys, you know, just some housekeeping here. Whenever you're moving XRP to a new wallet or a place that you've never done before, you always send a very small amount first. I've lost thousands of dollars because I was, you know, one day I was moving some Gala rewards off of my Gala node. And like my dad would call me and I was on the phone and I was trying to do 3 things at once. And I'd copied the wrong address and I wasn't paying attention, and that money's gone now. And, you know, you have to be very careful when you're moving this crypto, because if you send it to the wrong place, it is gone forever. I think we just hit 125,000 subscribers. We're going to catch up to you, Oscar. We're on the way, man. I think you're at 165. We'll be there soon. No, man, we've had a good journey, man. We were so close last month. You guys want to see something crazy? Let me show you something crazy. I got to sign into my account here. I will show you something pretty crazy. Hold on. I got to approve this. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to get to. Let me show you this. Analytics, content, November. Yeah, check this out. All right, let me show you this. So this was the numbers last month. This is how much you guys showed up to support this channel. 4.9 million views last month, 371,000 hours watched, and almost 7,000 new subscribers in November. That is incredible. Thank you. Thank you for that, guys. I really, really appreciate that. Yeah, Oscar, how was your birthday, man? What'd you do? Where is XRP Las Vegas? Beth, you know where XRP Las Vegas is. It's in Las Vegas. I think we did cover that already. Hey, Sensei, Is there any info on RealFi token in your opinion? RealFi. Let's take a look at what RealFi is. RealFi. RealFi. Hold on, let me pull this up. Am I sharing the right screen? Okay, RealFi. What is RealFi? RealFi. The real move is RealFi. I don't know. RealFi? Perplexity. What is RealFi? Hold on. RealFi, Real Finance is a term blockchain-based systems. Is it a crypto project? I don't know. Usually when you cannot find it this quickly, I get a little worried. Where are you getting RealFi? I don't know. I'm not seeing anything about RealFi. I have no idea what RealFi is. If you send me some information, email it to me, I'll take a look at it. But if you can't really see something quickly on X, like nobody's talking about it, and you can't really, I don't know, you just got to be very careful. There's a lot of things in the crypto market, guys, that look like they're going to change the game, and teams are going to promise you all of these incredible things. I've seen so many teams come and go in the crypto market at this point, thousands. And a lot of the technology never meets the standards of what it's trying to get to. A lot of teams promise things that they're never going to be able to deliver. And, at this point, I don't think I'm really interested too much in anything else other than, a few crypto assets, because like we are so close to this inflection point of the crypto market, like reaching a utility point that, I am running out of time to participate here. And I don't really want to think or care about anything else other than a few assets that I really think are going to have all of the value. And so I'm trying not to get distracted right now by anything at this point, because we are running out of time. We are running out of time. Terry says, I listen to your videos every day. Terry, I really appreciate that, man. I hope you're learning. Crypto Prince, when you live in Hawaii, you let me know, man. We'll get some dinner or something. BlackRock next. I think so. Crumbs. I think so. I think you're right. What is CA? CA is California. What is CA, and where would you steer someone who is new to crypto to learn? Is a Tangem good wallet? I only have 3,000 XRP. So Rob, great question. So Tangem, Ledger, Decent, Zamin, those are pretty good wallets. If you have around 3,000 XRP and you want to be able to pull it on a cold storage device, Tangem is probably going to be the best choice as far as price goes. I've heard a lot of people say positive things about it. I've never used it myself, but you don't even need that at this point. Like if you want to go with like a Zamin wallet, that is going to be a little bit cheaper. That's probably going to be the cheapest option of wallets. But yeah, Zamin, Tangem, and then if you don't mind spending a little bit more, Decent or Ledger, those are going to be the best choices. Thank you for your donation, Rob. And I think CA is California. And where to learn crypto? You can learn crypto anywhere. Sometimes like even like Ledger has an academy, you can learn the basics and things like that. But like if you want to learn about crypto, if you want to learn about XRP and regulation and the advancement of crypto and tokenization and stablecoins, this is probably going to be a good channel for your education. I'm going to give you all the facts as I know them every single day. And I will help you learn quickly. I will have you dangerously good at crypto. In like you give me 3 or 6 months, you're going to know more than 99% of the planet. Let's see here. Mike Brown. Thank you. Your honesty and heart and soul is so apparent. I really feel you genuinely are telling the truth in a way that you see it. So appreciated. You're my go-to guy for the latest news, Mike. That's awesome, Mike. I really appreciate it. It means a lot that the passion and the love and the honesty comes out, because I'm giving you everything I have every day. And I connecting with you in that way is really important to me. And I really appreciate you. Thank you, Mike. Cheryl, we'll see you. Have a good day. We'll see you on Friday, Cheryl. Crypto Prince says Jake is not right, but I hope so. I think we can all be skeptic of people. I think it's healthy to be cautious. And, I think the people that sit there and listen to everything Jake says, I think he has a way, just like I have a way of connecting with you in the information. And, we all want to see these prices go to these absurd amounts. But like the first reaction you have is this guy, selling me stories, right? I think Jake is very well insulated. He's very well connected. He knows things that a lot of people don't. And is he going to be right on some of this stuff? Yes. Is he going to be wrong on a lot of this stuff? Yes. Right. But all he needs is to be right on one thing, and he won't care about the rest of it. Right. I don't think Jake really cares about what people think if he's right or wrong. Right. Because he knows where this is going. He's got enough XRP that he's going to be a multi-billionaire. And he just knows that he needs to get from point A to point B, and he'll have some fun when he's doing it. He staked his reputation on what he says. And in life, all you have is your reputation, right? All you have is what you're able to give and show the rest of the world, right? And he might be wrong on the timeline of when these things are going to happen, but he's not wrong about the utility and what the prices of these things could be. It's just, how long is it going to take to get there, right? If XRP really becomes the back-end settlement of the stock market, do you think the price is going to be $10 or $15? I think he's right in a lot of things about where the price is going. I just think sometimes he's wrong about how quickly it'll get there. Like, I didn't agree with some of the things that he said about 750 by the end of the year. I think we're going to get to the end of the month and XRP's price is going to be like $3 or $4. I thought prices, if the ETFs could start eating into the exchange, I thought would be like 10 to 20, $30. That's kind of where I thought it would end up, but we'll see. We'll see in 29 days where this ends up. I think we're all rooting for him to be right. At the end of the day, we all want Jake to be right. Right? Because then we're all doing whatever we want with all of our money. And, just money is not everything, right? And we got to remember that these are our goals, and this is where we want to get to in life. But once we reach those goals, you need to have plans on what you're going to do next, right? Whether that's whether that's quitting your job, taking your money and helping your family, or buying a house, or whatever it is, start planning those things in your life now. Start putting things in place. So when these things actually happen, you're not just like, oh my God, it happened. What do I do? Right? But it's still okay though. If you get to that point, you're like, oh my God, it happened. That's a great thing, right? You just became incredibly wealthy in however time it took. And now you need to go plan the rest of your life. You just don't want to get lost in all of this stuff. You still need something to do with your time and your energy, and just, visualize you getting there. Visualize you getting there. All right. Oscar has great content. Yeah, I like watching Oscar's content. Jake the Muscle. I like that. Husky Tom with another 10 gifted subs, man. Husky Tom, you are, and I think you are the biggest benefactor of the channel at this point. Husky Tom, thank you, man. I wonder if we should make Husky Tom like a mod or something. Last time we chatted, I was cruising Hawaii. Your videos kept me up to date. I appreciate your hard work and dedication. Beth, anytime. Thank you so much. If you ever cruise back out this way, let me know, Beth. All right. Let's see here. Tio says, Sensei, I heard you say that she would buy some more XRP if I drop $2. Do you think it will drop again before Christmas? Tio, really impossible to know. I think every time it drops below $2, I think that's an opportunity. Is it going to happen again? If the market continues to be choppy, yes. If the market starts to rally a bit, obviously we probably won't see that $2 again, but you never know, man. I don't want to say it's not possible, because the crypto market, crazy things can happen. There could be some type of black swan event that we're not even looking at or noticing right now. and anything is possible. But don't just sit and wait, right? Like my thing is, XRP's price has been rising over the last few days. The Vanguard news was really popular. Is that going to continue to keep going up? Are we going to continue to see the same inflows into ETFs that we are seeing? If we keep that steady inflow and all the eyes on it, I think it's going to start heading the right way here soon. Christmas came early, man. Wouldn't it be nice? Crypto Sensei, hey Sensei, Oahu, thank you for all you do. Appreciate you. You and yours stay safe and blessed. Miss Smith, thank you so much. I appreciate you sharing the love. Sounded like you do you live here? It sounded like you live here. When in Vegas, I think XRP Las Vegas is what, at the end of April, guys? Somebody help me out. I think it's the 29th, 30th of April or something. Let's see, XRP Las Vegas was kind of mid last year, expected more, bit let down really. Yeah, I wasn't there. I'd have hip surgery in the beginning of the year. And, I think, things in Vegas are getting more expensive. And I think, when you sell these tickets, I think they charged a little bit more this year on the tickets. So hopefully they're going to be able to offer more, and they'll bring more vendors and more speakers and more engagement. But we'll see how it turns out. I'm looking forward to going and just meeting some people and spending time. Sensei, you're going to have the most XRP green members if I can help. Thank you, man. I appreciate you. Thank you. And I hope when people become members, they like the early content, Sensei Oscar, Chris Pax, Crypto Prince, Will. These are my favorite channels. Thank you for sharing that, Duchess. Duchess of Elements. Ooh, 808. Are you from here too? I see that 808. So somebody said, I believe RealFi is a scam. It's kind of felt like that, right? If you can't really find information on it quickly, a lot of the crypto market, guys, is scams. Like I'll be completely honest with you. And even the projects that are trying to do stuff, a lot of them are not going to make it, right? You're just seeing this big throw everything at the wall and see what sticks. Can you build a community around it? I would honestly not be focused on any of that stuff right now. Like, that XRP, XLM, Chainlink, HBAR, Quant, XD, like you should have 10 assets that, those are the 10 assets you should focus the most on. And just, forget everything else, because a lot of this stuff is not going to make it. I think ADA, Cardano's good. Ethereum, Solana, I wouldn't ever buy, I wouldn't buy Bitcoin at this point. I don't think there's any point, but I don't know. Yeah, the ISO tokens, that's a good Algorand. That stuff's probably going to do really well. But my problem is like, I get some money from whatever, I get paid on something. Like, my first thing is I want to buy more XRP. And then if I somehow get past that of, okay, maybe I'll buy something else, then it's like, what do I buy, right? Do I buy some Stellar? Do I buy some HBAR? Do I buy some ADA? Right? And then it's so difficult because I just want to keep buying XRP, right? Because I know the most about XRP, and I believe XRP is my greatest shot, hands down. And I never think I have enough. So, okay, here we got Rob Castle says, when does XRP reach $1,000? Don't care about the facts, just the cash. Rob, I have no idea, Rob. I don't have a crystal ball. I've not been to the future. I have not seen what the future looks like. There's no way to answer this question. I do know that there's some pretty smart people that believe by 2030 XRP should be at $1,000. I'm going to go ahead and put it to them, since some of those people are developers in the ecosystem. But I appreciate the donation, and thank you for the question. And I'll do what I can to keep you updated, man. That's all I can do. OSOK, this is for Luna, but Husky Tom donated another 10 memberships. OSOK, thank you guys. Thank you. I appreciate you. Ledger is sent in France. Yeah, so Ledger's operations are in Paris. That's where they opened. Yeah, that's where they're that's where they are. This here, Glossy says, thanks for the recommendation on Decent Wallet. Going to buy that over Treasure. Watched a great video. I have a Ledger, but wanted another one. Yeah, Decent's got some great deals, man. You know, we put out, let me see if I can find that really quickly. What is the Decent? Like, aren't they like 40% off right now or something crazy? Let me see. Let me see. Decent. Oh, where is it? I don't remember where the links are. Oh, I can find it. I can find it. I got it. Nope, I lied. I thought I was going to be in here, but it's not. Yeah, Decent's got 40% off right now on their wallets, and those are really good wallets. They have the biometrics. Their app is really killer. I love that. I definitely pray Jake wins his bet. Yeah, I think we all are praying for that. I don't think there's anybody in here that is rooting against Jake in that way. I think there's people here that are skeptical of some things that he says, and that's being human, right? You should always be skeptical of somebody telling you something that you believe cannot happen, you know, in that short time, right? That's just how we are programmed, right? Question everything, you know. But I think we're all rooting for him. That is not good. See, if you forget your wallet password, that's not good, you know? And like, you know, this is something you probably like Uphold Vault. That's probably something that maybe you should, you know, that's a service that might help you in case you forget your password or something. Saul, good morning from Australia. Saul, great to see you. How you doing? We got to keep it real, guys. You know, we don't have time for anything else. Sorry, bud. Money is everything. You don't have to apologize, Rob. We're good, man. Like I wish I had the answers for you, Rob. And if I knew the answers, Rob, I would tell you. If I knew when XRP was going to go, I would probably be, you know, going out and trying to drum up some extra money from somewhere, you know. I would maybe go to like the mob and borrow $1 million to buy more XRP or something crazy, you know. I don't know. But I think we're all trying to get there. We'll get there together, you know, whether it takes 30 days and Jake's right about some stuff, or if it takes 6 months, or if it takes another 2 years, whatever it takes, I am prepared. You know, I know that this is not easy. You know, turning my life into a life where I have considerable means shouldn't be easy, right? Not many people get to where they are in life that have all of this wealth. If it hasn't been given to them, they have worked and earned that money, right? And that is what you're doing every single day. When you show up to watch content to better your education of something, you're putting in the work that you need to understand what this change in our financial system is going to be, right? You should not discount all of that you're doing, because you're doing more than 99% of the rest of the planet that is just oblivious to what is going on here, right? Something happened in your life that piqued your interest, that you wanted to spend more time to understand what's about to happen. That in itself is more than a lot of other people around you are doing. So just know that, you know, you are putting in the time and work, and we'll get there together. I truly believe that. All right, hold on. Let me go down to some more of these comments. Oh my God, there's so many. I don't know. We have 6,000 people here, which is insane. Here's what's your take on supply shock? So Nirvana, great question. So obviously the supply we've seen on exchanges has been dwindling. I've made some content over the last week on this. We've seen Coinbase kind of getting depleted there. We've seen Binance reserves going down. People are either, I think retail holders understand that we're about to be in someplace special, whether it's a month from now, a week from now, I don't know when, but I think XRP retail holders know. And institutional holders now are trying to catch up. And that's what we're seeing. This is why all of this XRP on OTC desks, once that gets depleted, you really have only one place, right? Yes, you can go to Ripple escrow, but they're still only going to unlock and sell so much per month, right? Because I don't think Ripple's in the business to start just releasing a billion XRP per month and selling it all. I think they understand that they need to keep the supply tight so they can start building on regular exchanges, right? These people are incredibly smart. And the people that they have working for Ripple are the smartest people in the world, right? When it comes to this exact business and topic and what they're trying to do. They have people from the treasury and like all kinds of incredible people. So they know what we need to get to. They know that if the price goes up, everything that they're doing becomes more valuable. And so they're not going to kind of shoot themselves in the leg here by dumping all of this XRP on the open market when they know that these ETF providers will be forced to go to exchanges. So, it's going to play out sooner or later. We're going to run into the wall. And when we run into the wall, we're going to have to see it. Jake has the inside scoop. He loves to say that though, right? Here we go. So Trust of Heart says XRP Las Vegas, April 30th to May 1st. Tickets starting at $900 to $2,200. Prices will go up the closer it gets. Man, it better be a good event. If I'm spending $2,200 on a ticket, I'm expecting a lot. Let's see here. Rob, you're good, man. You're good. Thank you. Where do you see XRP a year from now? You could ask me the same question. Like, you have a few things happening in 26, right? You have regulation, and then you have stock market settlement. Those two things are going to start happening in 26. How much is XRP going to be involved in the settlement of the stock market and the DTCC connections and all of that stuff? I think it's pretty clear that XRP is probably one of the main assets that they're going to use. But we have to wait and see how that plays out, right? R3, Project Ion, it's kind of strange because you've seen, I've played clips on this channel of people at R3 kind of maybe dissing XRP a bit, right? I remember those clips very clearly from a few years ago. And so, Jake said that he's R3 certified. It's on his LinkedIn, and that he knows this for a fact. So I'm gonna say, okay, R3, Project Ion, DTCC, XRP, main settlement token. If that should play out, you think XRP will be $5 or $10? Or do you think it'll have a much higher price? I think it'll have a much higher price. Crypto Sensei, Prince, and I are married. Aloha. Crypto Sensei, Prince and I are married. Okay. All right. Love that. We got both of you guys here. Awesome. Sensei, what do you think about people using layer 2 blockchains to generate a yield on XRP? So I think people are always going to look for yield. And I think certain companies are going to feel that need, right? I think Flare is going to really, I think Flare is probably going to be one of the biggest DeFi layers in the crypto industry, period, because they're going to get billions of XRP. And if XRP goes to 10, 20, 50, $100, they're going to have hundreds of billions of dollars in value in their ecosystem, probably trillions of dollars one day, right? And so I think people are always going to be looking for yield. And if they can offer safe yield to XRP holders, people will go and flock to those products, right? And we're going to have more conversations with the Flare team and other developers building in the XRP space on all of these things. I should make a video breaking down the cold wallet nuances. I will work on that. I will work on that. I'm working on a good video on Ledger, going through all the technology and why I choose Ledger. Like I specifically use Ledger myself, and I'm working on that tomorrow. So I will be putting that out. I thought Jerome was too late was speaking today. I don't know. I think it's on the 10th, right? I think that's when they're going to lower rates. Let me see. Expected to lower rates. Let's take a look here and try to get a question answered for you, my friend. All right. The Fed is widely expected to deliver the next interest rate cut on December 9th through 10th at the 2025 FOMC meeting. So that's when we're expected this to happen. Now, is he going to speak before that? I don't know, man. I really don't. But we are expecting a rate cut right around that time. See here, Riggs, thanks for always being honest and giving us the real news based on facts and not a bunch of fluff. Way too much to sift through these days to find a good source of information. Riggs, thank you, man. I appreciate that. You know where all this came from? I was once in your shoes. Where I relied on other people giving me the information that I needed to learn. And I knew from watching those people what I did and I didn't like about them, right? And we got always off topic on what is going, this all of this fluff, as you called it, right? And I just want, what are the facts? What do we know? What is this going to happen? Like, all I care about is that. And I just want to get into it, right? My time is limited. I got a family. I have all of these different things going on in my life. I have this amount of time I can spend per day on this. I need to fill that with as much information as I can that actually means something. And that is why I just try to get straight to it and just try to hammer it every single time. And I appreciate you taking notice. Thank you. Crypto mix 2 up to 4x. Reimbursing? That sounds a little strange. Thank you for reposting it. Okay, instead of all y'all spending money on super chats, why don't you just use that to move to buy more XRP? Gator, people don't, I tell people that they don't have to spend on super chats, but sometimes, since there are 6,200 people watching, sometimes people want to get their comment answered. And it does stand out when I'm reading it, their comment when they do a super chat. And I think that's why. But I understand what you're saying, man. Ripple just unlocked 700. Yep. So I just did a video on Ripple escrow. It'll come out tomorrow morning. It gets into the whole history of escrow and all of my thoughts on it. Watch that video. You'll get a good understanding of it all. Do you think they're hiding the real price? When you say they, who are we talking about, right? Like, who is they? Is there market manipulation? Yes. Is there a global conspiracy to keep the price low? I don't think so. I think we all want that to be the case, because, like, why wouldn't this? But I think we haven't really reached a point of utility yet, and I think it's just, we're all speculating still. Are the institutions that people are trading leverage against, are they just getting crushed because those machines know when to buy and sell to liquidate all those people? Yeah, I think people are playing a very dangerous game when they're trading against supercomputers and AI. This is why I don't mess with leverage. I just buy and hold, and I pray and I wait, but I don't think there's a grand conspiracy with countries and Ripple to keep the price low. I really don't. I think, like, who's got the time for that, right? And, like, if you have a big enough conspiracy with governments and banks, somebody somewhere is going to start leaking some of that information. And just think, like, what would the community think or say if they found out that Ripple or anybody involved at Ripple or whatever is helping to keep the price low? Like that just sends the wrong message. And I don't think Ripple's here. I don't think Ripple cares about the price of XRP right now. I think Ripple knows that if they get their job done at scale, and if they achieve the goals that they've set out as a company, I think if they achieve that, they know where the price is going. And I think that's why Ripple bought more XRP off the open market, because I think they understood that they needed to have as much of this asset as they could. And, regulation and adoption and institutional use takes time, and I just think we haven't reached the point yet when we're at a utility point. And I think that is coming. But thank you for your question, Chris. Andy Garcia says, hey, Sensei, I enjoyed watching your daily updates. I was wondering, do you think XRP market cap will overtake Ethereum in a few years? I think XRP market cap could overtake Ethereum in a few months. I don't think it could be. I don't think in a few years. Let's just take a look here, Andy. Let's take a look together here, bud. So let's just get some up-to-date prices here, and we'll look at this. So Ethereum right now is at 363 million. So XRP would need to double. Oh, excuse me. I'm looking at Tether. My bad, guys. We would need to almost triple the market cap. I think if ETF demand actually hit exchanges, I think you would be knocking on Ethereum's doorstep in a quick second. I don't think people realize that $30-40 million a day in fresh XRP buying off the open market would send XRP's market cap way past Ethereum pretty quickly. Like that's a lot of volume coming in. And that's where, market cap multipliers would start kicking in if the price, if the supply of XRP goes below 1 billion or 500 million, that market cap multiplier would be heavy and you would get past it pretty quickly. Here in Korea, today I saw your channel for the first time, liked your attitude, so I'm subscribing. I'll be back often. CJ Kim, thank you, man. I heard Korea is one of the coolest places to be. My wife and I love, we're watching a few shows that are based in Korea, in South Korea. And man, I feel like my like everything I watch at night right now is we're watching Physical 100. It's like all of the top people from Korea that all these different are competing. Who's the strongest person? And then we're watching Crash Landing on You, which is a South Korean kind of love story. And that's one of my wife's favorite shows. And we spend time watching that. And I appreciate you. I don't know why I went off on all of this stuff, but I don't know. I felt like sharing. Man, everybody is reposting the stream. I don't know what to say here. This is crazy. Flair, we're not stopping. Richard, good to see you, brother. Yeah, guys, we have shattered the record. We have shattered the record. We have 6,400 people watching the stream. That's pretty crazy. Utility is the decoupling from Bitcoin. The day they sign the regulations into law, XRP becomes a rocket. Until then, Bitcoin and speculation will hold down the price of XRP and whales to buy in. I think Marlon Wells, I think you're absolutely right. That was well said, Marlon. I think Marlon's he's onto something here. Once you get regulation kind of signed in and banks know what they can and can't do, I think that's going to really start to, set the tone, because you got to understand here, financial institutions are waiting for the rules and laws, what they can and can't do. Once they have those rules and laws, they're all competing against each other to now use the technology. So it's not like they're going to sit on their hands for years, right? They're going to actively engage here, right? Because if I can bring back $1 trillion of Nostro Vostro money, I can start earning yield on that money. I can put that money to good use. I can get my customers funds to and from 24/7, 365 at a reduced cost. I mean, sign me up. Who's not going to want to use that system? And I think it's just going to be big, man. Let's see here. I'm joining late and you may have covered something similar, but a few times I've watched you take digs at Jay Claver. I'm curious, what's the beef? Do you disagree with his thesis, price prediction, timeline? Jake and I have a history. I think that Jake tells people what they want to hear. I think Jake makes content to push people into his products. I think that he's a very smart and well-connected person, but he's doing things for a reason, right? He's doing things to get people to take their XRP and invest it into his products. And I don't know, like, that's just not why I'm doing this, right? I'm doing this because I want the information and I know other people want the information. So me and him are coming from this at two different directions. And, I think Jake has handled some things with me poorly in some situations. And, I think that, I think we should be skeptical of anybody saying that XRP is going to be at like 50 grand next year, 100 grand next year, or it's going to $750 by the end of the year. Like, I'm going to be skeptical of anybody saying that. It's just Jake is the one that is constantly saying it. So we talk about it. But I have no beef with Jake. If he would like to come on the show and talk about XRP, he could respond to a few emails I've sent him. But I don't think he's going to. So, I will continue to be curious and be skeptical and tell you how I feel, because that's why you're here. And whether Jake likes that or not, I don't know what to tell you, Super chats on this channel is money well spent. I appreciate that, Marlon. Thank you, bro. Man, we have so much stuff going on today. I'm trying to keep up with all you guys. This is pretty insane. Are we going to head to 10,000 people here? Yeah, I mean, so like, listen, like there's people like this, right? That obviously don't believe what he's saying. And then there's people that believe everything he's saying, right? And it's okay to be both of those people. It's okay to look up to somebody that knows more than you. That's life, right? We look up to athletes because they play the game that we love better than we do, right? We look up to actors and actresses, and it's the same thing. He has a lot of knowledge. He's willing to share that knowledge, and he's been good at what he's doing, right? But like I think people need to realize when you watch his content, every piece of his content, he's making that content to push you into his company and to his services and your LLC and this and that. And that's what he's here to do. So as long as you're good with that, you're fine, but just be skeptical is all I'm saying. I want people to be skeptical of me. And that's why I bring the facts as I know them, right? Like I don't want to ever be in a place where I'm promising people things that I don't know are possible, right? Because then I've lost my credibility, right? And I've lost what I believe in. And that means more to me than telling people what they want to hear, right? People want to hear that XRP is going to be at $10,000 next year because it's going to settle the stock market, right? That's people really want to hear that. But until that actually happens and I can prove it, I cannot tell you without a shadow of a doubt that it's going to happen. So I hope that kind of settles all of that. And, I'm rooting for him. Like I say this all the time. I'm rooting that he is right. I want him to be right because if he's right, we're all right, right? We're all right by investing in XRP, right? All right. Another 10 gifted subs from Husky Tom. Man, Husky Tom is a maniac and I love him to death. Thank you, man. Nicole, great to see you. Nicole is a very special person. Nicole is the very first person here today. And Nicole likes to talk around the water cooler. Nicole's probably one of the cooler people in her office. And I really appreciate you, Nicole. Thank you so much. How do I receive a gift membership? I think you have to click on it pretty quickly once Tom offers them. I don't really know how it goes. I've never been given a gift membership, but I think once you start to see it, like you have to click on it to get it, I think. And that's great, man. Jake sounds good to me. That's all. Like, I think like people don't, it's not like, I don't even know how to keep talking about this. We all want him to be right, but like the way that he goes about some of the stuff, I just wouldn't do myself. Right. It's not like there's not tension there. It's just, I go about it a different way than he does. And that's fine. Like we're both trying to help the community, I don't know. Jake has good info on what's to come and price targets he pumps are insane. Yes, it might be 10 grand one day, but not within a decade. Like that's my belief. I believe XRP will reach $5,000, $10,000, but I think it's going to take 10 years, like that's what I believe in my heart. But what am I going to make a video saying XRP is going to be 10 grand in 10 years? Like what's the point? Let's just cover the news and the information and, we'll get there together. Why XRP over $50 in China? Is it really? So I don't know what's specifically going on in China. I do know that there's been something like David Schwartz has covered something called the kimchi premium, where XRP was more expensive in a certain country because it was harder to get. And so if that's the case, like if people don't have access to buy XRP in China, somebody might be willing to sell that XRP maybe illegally. I mean, I don't know what the situation is there. So I don't know. I'm just trying to, why would XRP be $50 in China and $2 in America? If somebody could make $48 selling an XRP and doing it some kind of shady way, there's always going to be somebody that is going to offer that. Apex says, I like you way better, Sensei. You are for the people. He caters to the super rich, and That's also something, you know. But that's who he wants. That's who he wants, right? He wants the super wealthy people, you know, and he's gotten that. You know, he's gotten what he wanted. He put like you gotta respect that he put a business plan together and he executed, right? And he's doing things that he needs to do to get all of those things lined up. You know, the man knows how to hustle, and he put a lot of time, energy, and his team works really hard. I mean, there's some good people on his team that spend a lot of time helping, but that it's for a reason. Did he gift another 10? Did he gift another 10? Oh my God. No, he didn't. Okay. How do I move XRP from Robinhood? So Kenjiro, that's a great question. You would need to have a wallet that you're moving it to. So whether that's like a Ledger or a Decent or a Zaman wallet, once you get that wallet, you're going to have a wallet address. And so when you're moving it off the exchange, you just need to put in that wallet address. If you're moving it from an exchange to an exchange, you got to remember the memo. If you don't put the memo in there, you might never get your XRP. There's going to be a lot of videos on how to move your crypto on and off. Just if you go to Yahoo or not Yahoo, what I said Yahoo. What am I in the 1980s? If you go to YouTube, that's what I was looking for, and you type in how to move my crypto off Robinhood, you should get a few videos. Oh my goodness, what am I doing? OMG. Robinhood has a policy. You can't move it off Robinhood? Seriously? Is that a policy? Yeah, Tom is an animal. Yeah, that was, oh my goodness. Ay, ay, ay. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? I am an 80s kid, yes. Or maybe I should have said 90s. Maybe I missed the wrong decade. I apologize. My dad's doing a lot better. Cosmic Fox Crypto. Thank you for asking. Appreciate that. He's on the mend. He's still dealing with some of his other kind of ailments and problems, but he's doing a lot better. Thank you. What did I miss? Who's been reported spam or misleading? I don't know. I'm lost in the ether right now. So can we answer this? Does anybody know? Does Robinhood allow you to move your crypto? Does anybody in the chat know? Getting old. Yeah. I think we're all getting old at this point, you know, and we're all trying to reach our goals before before it's time. And I don't know, like my whole thing is the way I'm able to turn my life into something where I have all of this, extra capital is I have to find a technology that is going to be mass adopted by the whole world and invest in that technology. And that's what I believe XRP is, right? XRP, Ripple, I think that is the company. Like that is where I need to be right now. And I'm prepared either way. I am prepared for either way of this thing to go, but I do have a lot of faith that XRP is the right asset. And it was never Bitcoin. It's not Ethereum. That's XRP. And, the people in this community are like the XRP army. These people are just different. They're committed to learning. They're committed to understanding different things and working together. And, everyone is really based on, if somebody kind of comes after somebody in the XRP community, a lot of people just jump in to kind of set that situation right. And you don't see that too much across the crypto space. It's just, thanks for indulging my curiosity. Anytime, Books. I don't know, man. You guys are special. Hopefully you guys got the Robinhood thing. Oh, I appreciate you, Duchess. Thank you. You are young, Sensei. I'm old. You are young. People better load up on the crypto is the future. Oh man, I appreciate you. I don't know, 41. I almost called myself 40. Am I 41 now? I don't know. I don't feel too young. I see all this kind of gray hair coming in, and I'm like, no, I'm like, pluck that out, pluck that out. I don't know. My brother bought XRP and ADA and there's a few others on Robinhood. I helped him move it about 2.5 weeks ago on Tangible. And so it looks like you can. Crombie says you can do it. Thank you, Crombie. I appreciate you. Yeah, I mean, when you're investing in the crypto market now, right? Like if your asset makes it, right? Like if the company you're investing in makes it, you know, it could be the next Google. It could be the next, oh God, I'm not even saying it, Facebook. Oof. Does anyone still use Facebook? I don't know. My mom sent me something the other day. It was on Facebook. I was like, I don't even know my password to get into this thing. Like, I can't even log in. The XRP RV is strong. It's incredible people, man. Just, I don't know. I haven't seen anything like it. I've been in the crypto space for a long time. You know, some longer than me, obviously, but I've never seen a more committed group of people. You know, and the kindness and the love, and sometimes frustration, sometimes you know, anything else. But it's a special group, man. It's a special group, and it's an honor to be a part of that every day. OG crypto. Ariana's still stuck on AOL? Probably. No picking on Ariana, though. Crombie, I appreciate you. You're one of my favorites. Oh, it's so kind. It's an honor. Thank you. Christopher says he uses Facebook occasionally, mostly for other companies' pages, though. My family uses Facebook still, too. Yeah, that's true. That's true. You've got mail. You remember back in the day, like before texting and all this stuff, you had like MSN Messenger and Yahoo Messenger, you know, those were the days. That's when I was like a teenager and growing up. Yeah. Oh man. Oh, I appreciate you, Josh. Thank you, man. Dial up. Oh my God. How annoying was that? And then when you were dialed up, you couldn't use the phone, right? Because when someone tried to call you, it just played the doo-doo-doo-doo. Man, that was rough. Kids don't know these days. Kids have no idea. So yeah, I never said Jake attacked me. Never said he attacked me. So the carry trade is unwinding. That is happening. Yes, that is happening. The issue here is XRP going to feel the need for liquidity if the situation arises. So, you know, one thing doesn't automatically equal the other. And I think that's like the space in between that I'm in. Like, is it going to play out exactly how he says, or is it going to play out a little different? We'll have to see. Let's see here. Crypto Sensei, Crypto Prince wants a XRO carpet. What is that? Oh, an XRP carpet. Oh, I was like, what is an XRO carpet? Is that something that I need? Oh my God, you guys are crazy. Man, we need 45 more people to reach 7,000 people. We need 45 more people. All right, if you haven't shared out the stream on X, share the stream. Let's see if we can get 40 more people in here. I think we can do it. XRP 95 cents megabyte. Man, can you imagine getting XRP under $1 again? Oh, that would just be incredible. What's up with the fake Vanguard ETF? Yeah, there's no real Vanguard ETF, guys. Vanguard is not putting out any ETF. If you buy that, you're probably going to lose your money. I don't know anything about a fake Vanguard ETF, but I would imagine that, you know, scammers find any way to scam you. So the only ETFs that they're going to allow are ETFs that are already on the open market, but they're allowing people to buy those ETFs through the Vanguard system, which is really important. How do we get 45 more people? I don't know. Oh, wait, we got 10 more. We need 22 now. We need 22, 21. We need 21. We need 20. We're getting close. We're getting close. Oscar, call your people. I don't think Oscar's still here. He's got other things to do. By the way, Vanguard is allowing crypto ETFs finally and trading on their platform. Yeah, we talked about that DZVN. I made 2 videos about this already. I made one yesterday when the announcement happened. I made one this morning. If you haven't seen those videos, go check them out, man. Yeah, we need 8 people now. We need 8. 7, 6. Oh, we just lost a few. Hey, Sensei, if there's a lot of liquidity, if there's a liquidity event like the reverse carry trade, what will happen to countries like Japan, Cayman Islands, who hold lots of debt? They'll sell it. So that's one of the things, right, that we're expected to see here is Japan is the largest holder of US debt, China and the UK. We hit it. If people start to, we hit it. Oh, we lost it. But we had it for a second. Where'd it go? Hold on. There it is. We did it. All right. We don't have to worry about that anymore. Here, let me share this. There it is. 7,000. That's a good looking number. That is a good looking number, guys. Great job. Okay. So back to this. So, I would imagine I'd imagine the bond market will be dramatically affected. Now, the good thing here, the positive thing here is we might see 3, 6, $900 billion worth of treasuries dumped. And so you're hoping that the stablecoin market is more evolved and on chain where you can absorb some of those sales by these stablecoin companies that are going to need treasuries to back up their stablecoins. So the timing is right. And Scott Bessent, the Treasury of the United States, knows how important all of this stuff is. And so, it feels like they do have a plan in place to absorb a lot of this. What will be the friction and how painful it will be, that is still undecided. Yeah, we hit it, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. If anybody has an XRP carpet, let me know. I'm down to go in on an XRP carpet. All right, so here, Big Kahuna says, Bank of Japan meeting 12/8/19. Many sources report that an estimated 80% of Japanese banks are set to integrate Ripple's XRP into their systems by the end of 2025 to dramatically improve cross-border payments. I believe that's 100% accurate. I do think that all of those banks will have the opportunity to use XRP. They have a lot of different bank consortiums that Ripple's been working with that I've kind of reported on here on this channel. And you know who does a really good job at covering Japan and XRP is Crypto Erie. If you haven't seen her channel, she covers a lot of things that are happening in Japan with SBI and Yoshitaka Katao. And she's one of those people that I've always looked up to in the crypto industry. She's good people. So Blue, no news yet on Ripple becoming a bank, but I am keeping an eye on it. If we get anything, I will let you know instantaneously. So Adam, you don't really want to tell people how much crypto that you have. I don't want to highlight your comment. I see what you're saying. I have a lot of XRP coins and I'm getting a little impatient. Average price is 54 cents, but eventually I need to see $5, $6 to be happy. Haven't taken profit yet. So you know what? We'll just throw it up here. All right, guys, listen. Okay. I don't know how to tell you this, but I'm going to try. If XRP can go to $5, it can go to 50. It can go to 100. It can go to 1,000. If you think that you've waited this long for XRP to go to $5, you're going to get out at $5, you are going to be upset with the rest of your life. It would be a fatal mistake to sell your XRP too early. It'll be a fatal mistake. $5 is nothing. XRP market cap will be trillions, like trillions. You should not think like $5 is the goal that you've set to take your profit. Now, you can do anything you want. This is your money. This is your life. I'm just saying that I know that you are going to come back to me in a year from now and say, I took my profit at $5. XRP's price is going to be like 50 or 100. And you're going to be like, why did I sell too early? Don't sell too early. You got one shot at this. One shot. Once you sell, that shot is gone. Be careful. Be careful. And don't tell people how much XRP you have. Don't tell how much XRP you have, right? The world is filled with incredibly smart people. And if somebody knows you have 100,000 XRP and XRP goes to $100 or $500, people know that you're a millionaire now. And I just saw something about this. Let me show you this. Hold on. This is the reason you don't want to tell people. Hold on. Do I have it? Oh, I thought I had it. Hold on. What did I do with it? Is this it? No, I had a video that I wanted to play that it was somebody that I guess I don't have it up here. Oh, I do apologize. It was a video about somebody, hold on, 11 million stolen. 11 million in crypto stolen. Is this it? Yep. Here. This is why you don't tell anybody how much XRP you have. This is why. Listen.
Mackenzie Sagala's got the details on this one. Mackenzie.
Hey, Melissa. So Y Combinator CEO Gary Tan, a friend of the victim, posted security footage showing someone posing as a delivery man rushing into a San Francisco home in broad daylight. Now, police say the intruder tied up the resident, demanded access to his financial accounts, and then stole about $11 million worth of crypto using the digital keys that were stored on the victim's laptop and phone. And inside the industry, these are known as wrench attacks, where criminals have realized that it's often easier to show up with a weapon than hack a wallet online. Facial recognition, that makes it even simpler. You tie a victim up, point the phone at their face, and then drain their account. Based on public reports, there have been more than 60 of these physical attacks on digital asset investors so far this year. NBC News has identified crypto-related kidnappings in 44 countries, including brutal cases in France and a high-profile abduction and torture of a trader in a Manhattan townhouse last year. I will say this, we tend to see upticks during market surges like last November as Bitcoin hit a new record high after the election, and in tandem with the run-up we saw last month.
All right, guys, listen. Keep your crypto safe. It's very important. This is your future. Okay? Keeping it safe. You know, I know when we have a lot of something and maybe people don't have as much as you do, you know, we kind of feel the need to kind of brag or put it out or whatever it is. Like, I don't know what the motivation is, or maybe you just don't know that it's probably not a good idea to let people know how much you have. And, you know, I've made some mistakes in my early days of crypto trading when I made some money to kind of announce how much I made and things like that. I won't do that anymore. You know, it's very important you keep that stuff private for your safety. All right, guys, listen, it is 4 o'clock. I am way over on taking my dog out, and I really need to do that. It's really important that I spend that time with her. And, you know, I'm going to go take Luna for a walk. I appreciate each one of you here. I appreciate all the questions. I appreciate all of the donations and the kind words and the energy and time that you spend here today. It's an absolute honor to be on this journey with you. I want to thank Ariana, OSOK, Christopher, and all the other mods who kept the chat safe from, you know, all kind of things that come in from every angle. Thank you for showing up. I will be here on Friday to do the same exact thing, to spend this time with you. If you want to come back, ask some questions, learn and grow, it would be an honor. Thank you for watching videos every single day, and just let's keep doing this together. I'm so excited. Thank you. I'll see you next time. Aloha.